is the Sport Fishing Championship.
Club Nautico Santo Domingo White Marlin Tournament, stop number 2 of 11 of our championship season, the Sport Fishing Championship. Cabeza de Toro and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. A calm, smooth day, not only on day 1, but today on day 2, this Friday afternoon. I'm Robbie Floyd with 3-time World Sailfish Champion Peter Miller. And looking at our leaderboard, 1225, Sisu has gotten on the gas, Peter.
They sure have. They caught a bunch of white marlin, and I believe they have a blue marlin, which catapulted them into the stratosphere.
Looking at our variance of total points, we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But some guys going from the bottom of the heap up to the top, including Bandolera, Fresh Air. We saw Y360 catching a marlin yesterday. Again, the big blue marlin gives you the most points possible, 350 points. We're in the Dominican Republic. We're on that bottom right-hand portion, Punta Cana. And it's great, not only just for the tourism aspect of it, so the nightlife's fun as well, but you don't have to go very far out. You see a 10-mile ring, I don't think they've left that 10-mile circle.
Oh, they're staying in super tight. And you talk about nightlife, I actually went to Coco Bongo, if you've ever heard of it. It was magnificent. I don't go anywhere, and this was a big night out for the Miller man. But listen, Cap Cana has an incredible fishery. The bite is always on. You are guaranteed to see a marlin in your spread. It's up to you whether you catch it or not.
Again, some of these teams were hot yesterday, like Doña Lucy. We see Sisu on top of the board today. They've been firing it up as well. Again, it's about accumulating points on the Sport Fishing Championship. Let's go on board with Team Sisu. And this was yesterday, but look how close boat to boat they are here in the DR.
He's tight. You can see he's tight. You know, other guys trying to get his baits out there. Everyone's being very proactive.
Sisu, I believe, with 2 white marlin today, 1 blue marlin. That seems to be the kicker. You talk about kicker fish. That one fish is making the big difference. That's why you saw that discrepancy between first and second.
Beautiful calm waters. Very rare to see it this calm.
And this is calm. When we were in the Gulf, it was even calmer. But here you say it's always a factor. And look at them getting this fish in quick. They have a 30-minute time limit, if you aren't familiar with this here in the Dominican Republic. On the second stop of the Sport Fishing Championship, they got 30 minutes from the moment they hook up to have it correctly released. If it's 30 and 2 seconds, too late. It doesn't count.
Exactly, Robbie. And the thing about this is that you're using light drag, so the fish stay on top. That's the reason you're able to do this. If you locked it down with, 50-pound, 80-pound tests, they're going to get down and dirty. They're not big fish, but they're capable of staying down and digging.
You don't muscle it in. We saw in the Gulf of Mexico at Venice last round how it seemed like they were taking longer runs, but they're also bigger, stronger fish as well. Predominantly white marlin, although we do see 1 blue marlin being caught by Sisu. And again, that 350 points, that's the kicker. That's what's put them over the top.
That is the one. That's what you really want to add to it. They're feeling really good right now. You see the baits going right back out after that fish.
See the outriggers for these boats. The blue marlin, I'm talking about it being those the bigger points, 350 for a blue marlin. You get 125 for a white marlin. The Doña Lucy, they're catching a variety of species. They were our hot ticket yesterday. Today, not so much.
They're staying in super tight to shore. Look at that.
And if you have to see their fish catches today, you're going to be waiting a while. We do not have a recorded catch. Again, everything we say is officially unofficial, but I don't see a recorded catch from them today. But yesterday, it was a different story. They were on the gas, and that's the reason they're up where they are.
Yeah, I believe they caught 4 whites and 2 sails yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the variety. And the sailfish, same general area as these marlin. And again, the whites and the blues might be in the same areas as well.
All right, well, let's take a look at Grace. They're just offshore of Doña Lucy, putting out the dredges. They got these squids all over the place, pink squids. They got the mud flaps, and they're going to send that baby down with their big crystal reel.
There's the count for the one blue marlin. Again, that's another kind of a bonus fish, but only 2 white marlin. You compare that to, say, the 5, 6, 7. That's what's keep them in that 8th spot right now, just behind Lakeo and Doña Lucy.
You know, Robbie, I'm wondering if they're trying, since they're not catching the white marlin, I wonder if they're trying, targeting blues more specifically, going for the win, going for the kill.
Big fish in the distance. Oh, it's a mammal.
It is a mammal. It is a whale. Keep it wet.
A whale off in the distance, and again, the blue marlin are in the same general areas. You approach them a little bit differently. You've caught some blue marlin in here where you were actually trying to focus on catching those blue marlin. Why aren't more of these teams trying to do that when we know they're there? They're kind of homeboys. These are resident fish.
There's a certain time of the year when the fish actually migrate through, and this time of the year is more, it's predominantly white marlin, but the blues are always around because there's a lot of bait. So when I've been there, we've had a lot of blue marlin, but you know.
It's a migration. I mean, these fish are moving not only here in these international waters, they will cross all the way to the Atlantic, all the way to Africa. I was looking at stuff, seeing over 3,000 miles they'll travel in a year. So these fish are pelagic. They migrate. You see that little board there identifying that angler is caught up and good to go. Will he get that fish in? This was yesterday.
Always want to keep that fish off to the corner.
Video documentation as well, going the entire time. Those for the officials. They have to show that video evidence when they come back.
This is picture in picture in picture. You got a cameraman filming the cameraman, filming the cameraman. Filming the fish.
See the captain having to work those motors back to the fish at times and reeling them in. Again, a 30-minute time limit should not be a problem for any of our white marlin. I mean, you'd have to have a beast, and he'd have to be a tough son of a gun to be fine for 30 minutes.
He'd actually have to be wrapped up, body wrapped, or tail wrapped, or foul hooked.
And then you go to the fish. You don't reel the fish in. You back it up all the way to that fish.
Yeah, that's probably the only way you're not going to get the fish within the time limit is a wrapped up or tail hooked or foul hooked fish.
Got baits in the water.
We did good with what we had. We didn't get many bites. I saw one fish that didn't bite on the left teaser. But yeah, the one that did, we caught it in no time. And yeah, it was just, fishing's like that. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And you always gotta be there and be ready to take action and hook that fish. But yeah, tomorrow and Saturday's another day, and hopefully we can do better.
And Grace did improve today. One fish yesterday, they caught 2 today, but the big thing is they got that one blue marlin. That's almost like catching 2.5 white marlin.
You know what's striking to me on that little interview there? A young man sitting in a beautiful boat, catching marlin and talking all about it. And if today's youth could sit there and do that on that kind of platform and catch those marlin, that's got to be one of the luckiest kids around, and I absolutely love it.
Get off the video games. Go out here and do the real thing. That's what it's all about. And again, giving back to the youth. If you get a kid fishing at an early age, he'll do it for the rest of his life. There's nothing better. Again, let's now check out Doña Lucy. This was yesterday. They had that strong start. Was our leader for most of the day, ending in that day, I believe, in the lead. But yesterday it was good. But today they've had their difficulties.
Yeah, this is their double header, I believe. That's a sailfish we're seeing jumping there. And the guy to his left has a white marlin on, I believe. Staying calm, staying light on your feet.
And Doña Lucy with 4 whites, 2 sailfish. Currently in 6th place. Oh, 7th, excuse me.
That was a great start for them. See that switcheroo there? A little under over. Over this is under this is over, and this is over done.
It's like a dance. It's a ballet. I mean, everybody has to work in unison. I mean, the doubles, we have a possibility to triple. We haven't had that yet on the Sport Fishing Championship, but if you're going to do it, these are probably the waters to do it. You get those fish grouped up like that, why not?
That's
What's weird here is it's two different species that you're doubling up on.
yeah, exactly. It's 100% correct. We've been in Cabo, for instance. We've had six striped marlin on at a time. It's almost easier. You don't have to clear anything. The fish are jumping all over each other. You don't have to clear anything, and everyone just does the ballet. There's a lot of under-overs, but I tell you, it's a great way to clear the lines with 6 fish on.
So, if you're having 2 fish, if you have 2 fish on, whether it be a white marlin, a sailfish, a blue marlin, whatever, you have 2 fish on, you're dancing, you're in this ballet in the Dominican Republic, and you know there's hundreds of fish, there's 31 other boats around you. What do you do, Peter Miller, if you've got 6 lines out and all 6 are hooked up? What would be the pucker factor there on 6 fish?
I'll tell you what, Robbie, it's one of my favorite things to happen because that way you get to clear all the lines at once with fish on them. When you can have 6 baits out and you get 6 fish up, nobody needs to reel anything in because the lines are all going out, and then you work over and under each other, and it truly is, like Robbie said earlier, it's a ballet. We'll release 1 fish. I've run up to the bow as we're backing on the fish, and we'll put out an additional bait and then catch one off the bow. Sometimes when the bite is fast and furious, you got to stay agile. You got to be ready to do anything to win this tournament, but you want to hang on. You don't want to fall out of the boat or anything.
No, don't want to do that. Let's go on site with Site 1 and see what's happening in the Dominican Republic. Like to welcome in Crystal Hall and Shesla Crystal. Congratulations, guys. You've made it to day 2, and it is not raining. Perfect weather again. And I got to ask, though, Crystal, I'm seeing a lot of white marlin being caught. I mean, not as many blues. What's the deal with the whites?
Well, you know, as you guys were talking earlier, I was talking to one of the anglers that fished in the tournament yesterday, and he was saying that his strategic, strategy out there with his team were to go after the white marlin because, they're passing through and you can get more points. So, versus catching a blue, you run the risk of potentially not getting the blue marlin to the boat in 30 minutes. So I think that's why the team are going after the white marlin to rack the points up.
That's kind of backs up what you said, Peter, out there. All right, Shesla, I keep seeing a lot of catches. I'm not seeing many misses or anybody talking about when they're coming back on shore, talking about that one that got away. All I've been seeing are fish catches.
Well, we don't like to talk about that. When we're out fishing, I know there was this term. It's called whenever you're out fishing and you get the hook in, and you only see the head of the bait. That's called el sancocho, which is like very popular here and also in Puerto Rico, because wherever I'm fishing, I cut the head, I take it to my grandfather's, and he does this amazing sancocho. Have you tried it, Crystal?
I haven't, but I guess I'm going to have to now. It's the culture here.
Yeah, you should definitely try it. Also, there was this dance that we learned is the fish dance. I would like to show it to you, but I don't want to embarrass my co-host over here. So maybe we'll try it another time when we're out fishing. Do you want to go out fishing with me and just try it out?
Yeah, I won't be doing a fish dance.
Well, this is like a variety show now.
It's been great.
It's like a variety show. We have fishing,
we
have
some
cooking fish head soup, which is a sancocho, and then we have dancing. This has become a broad demographic, and I absolutely love it. You guys bringing a lot of excitement to the program.
I've got a question. We've seen sails, we've seen whites, we've seen blues. Yesterday, we saw Maricela caught a 73-pounder wahoo. Did you see any of those other championship fish at all today? Because, again, they might not report them, but they actually do bring those in. Have you seen any of those that might qualify for that $50,000 prize at the end of the year?
No, I haven't heard of any of the championship fish, actually. Have you?
No, I haven't.
So we'll be excited to see as the boats start showing up if we have any.
But I'm actually proud of Maricela because she's representing us, and no pressure, but we got to win this, okay?
Hey, Shesla, no sancocho.
Hey, she can have some if she wants one. Thank you, ladies. We'll see you out there tomorrow. And again, Maricela Echeverria, the only female competitor out there, caught a 73-pound wahoo yesterday. There's your championship points after 2 days of competition. Again, everything I say is officially unofficial. They're coming back as we speak. The lines have been in for a while now, but Sisu, 1,225 points. That blue marlin's really making the difference. It would be really tight. Bandolera, Fresh Air, hopefully get to see what they did out on the water as well, but they really turned it up a notch today and caught them towards the end. Y360 caught the first blue marlin yesterday. I'm sure it will not be the last. Stick with us.
Whether you like to ride the wind, find your secret cove, or reel them in. Plot your paradise with GPS Map Series from Garmin.
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about! Sport fishing anglers from around the world competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
It all comes back to the water, this binding agent, this fluid history of connection. Past, present, and future, all tied together through this never-ending, unwavering force. We belong to a community of seekers, anglers, and everyone in between. For us, it's more than fishing, much more. It's who we are, who we were, and who we aspire to be. We are Smith.
SFC coverage of the CNSD White Marlin Tournament is brought to you by Yugo Waterproof Products, Centered Wellness, and by Sword Fishing Products.
We are living the salt life like we always do, Peter Miller, here in Punta Cana this weekend. It's stop number 2 of 11. We've traveled from the Gulf of Mexico now to the DR, these beautiful crystal blue waters and calm waters as well. The Radisson Blue, the host hotel. Many of our cameramen and anglers staying out there this week. We're in Cabeza de Toro and Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
How apropos. Did I see a blue martini while fishing for blue marlin at the Blue Hotel? I'm not feeling blue. I'm feeling great.
Yes, you did. Again, everybody having a great time, and the passion, no doubt, is real at all of our stops. We deal with different waters, different territories, week after week after week, and we navigate through these waters, and we're able to identify things, the topography underneath the water, but also say the wind variances, the directions. These are all factors that these anglers are looking at.
You're right, Robbie. We have the standard trade winds in every area we go to, which is a very consistent flow. In Miami, we have an east wind. Here we have, if I'm seeing it correctly, we have about a 5-knot wind, very light wind to close out the day, and that is a traditional wind. It's just kind of tapered down over the day.
Doing good with that telestrator there on the edge, and also that's where some of those drops are. You base the wind, the water currents, the temperature variance, as well as the drop-offs. There's a lot of variables. Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll's a big factor. You're going to have some big temperature breaks, and you're going to have a lot of activity in that chlorophyll area on the perimeters.
I've been trying to stay away from chloroform, but chlorophyll is I'm actually looking for.
That's right, because you need a special napkin washcloth. You put chloroform in there, and then you got to do what you got to do. But we're looking at chlorophyll. We're trying to catch white marlin and blue marlin and little sailfish. If they show up, that's great.
Either way, you get like what I did there? I went from chloroform to there. Looking at Team Seawish now, you also notice these outriggers out to the side. There's where the teasers, things are lined up. But as far as baits in the water, we have 3 anglers on each one of these boats. White marlin catch for Seawish, this I believe was yesterday. That's where they got their majority of their fish. They were some of our early leaders. This might have actually been the first catch of the day.
Yeah, it looks like they have 1 to 2 fish on, and the fellow on the left just popped his out of the transom clip. He was getting a bite, so he's got it near one of the teasers, and the fish kind of faded off. Sometimes when you get hooked up, those fish will follow the fish that's jumping. They're team players. The guys on the boat, they're a team, and the fish are a team.
That marlin was out there a ways too. Now, what do you do? Because typically, if it's a single fish, the captain will back up to that fish, and you keep, keeping that line taut. What do you do when there's two? Because one could still be out, one could be kind of in more, giving you slack. How do you do? Does the first guy gets priority?
That's called getting stretched out. But in this particular tournament, the first one to hook up gets priority. However, he can kind of make the rules during the catch. He can say, you know what, let's go for this one first. But he has the right to choose it in this particular tournament if he's the first guy.
Okay. Kind of a gentleman's agreement. You see just how close the boats are in the backdrop. You saw another competitor boat in the same area.
The leader's in the tip. The mate's got the leader. It's a legal release, and he's just trying to get the fish a little closer to the boat. They either pop off on this light leader, or you can cut them off with a mate saver, and then they call in their catch.
High fives all around. That was Sea Wish yesterday with those 3 billfish. Trying to get back inside that top 10, get maximum points.
Okay, so we were putting our lines out, and suddenly we had a double header right away. 2 long baits, one on the right and the left. Had a double header on, and then we missed the right one, and then we caught the left one. Put our bait back in the water, and then we had one teaser bite, the right teaser, split chain, came up to there, and we fished it out, and we got that one too. But we are 3 for 2 right now.
So that could have been that triple that we were looking for.
The triple zipple. That would have been great.
Sustituta, another one of our 31 boats in the field, looking on board with Team Sustituta. No substitutes here. They're looking for the main course, the blue marlin, the white marlin. There's some of the teaser baits that they're dealing with.
That's a lot of calamari on that deck.
A lot of soft plastic. And again, look at how they do. Now that is trying to take bigger fish, and you said those are metal or plastic?
They're plastic, and they actually vibrate. They dance when they're in the water, and they actually have the tips painted. They look like baby yellowfin tuna. That's the idea there. And basically a marlin will see that, and they'll look up and say, hey, I got to check that out. I got to go inspect. They're going to get no satisfaction out of that, so they're going to drop back and look for a bait.
Are you doing song references again?
Which part?
I can't get no
satisfaction.
Yeah, that's right.
But I try.
Yeah.
And I try.
Oh, it's getting deep in here. Sustituta. Now, what are they doing? I see a line on a line.
This is something that allows you to pull the dredge in down to the distance you want it. When you want to bring it in, you pull on that line while the reel's coming in, and you can get in the boat. If it's way high up, you can't get in the boat. It's too heavy. So they have a lot of contraptions to bring it in. I call it contraption for lack of a better word. But that's a great setup they have.
This is not a fish distance.
It was a Sancocho with a broken line. Unfortunately, it was a double header. We missed one. I missed one.
Broken line, missed a fish. Now that leader, you see the fish all the way up to the boat right there. The leader is stronger, more abrasion resistance, the fluorocarbon.
Yeah, you always feel good when that leader comes through the tip. You got a lot of pulling power at that point. The fish is going to be pretty tired out, and that's also a legal catch. And the mate doesn't have to grab it at that point because it's already a catch, but of course they want to release the fish and carry on, put the lines back out, and get another one.
And that fish wants to be released as well. That's why he's fighting till the end. So again, one miss, one catch. It could have been a little bit better, though.
Yeah, it's tough when the line breaks. That's a beautiful jump right there. You heard what he said. They sawed the line and one broke off, so they had a double header and the one broke off, and he said it was sometimes you don't move quick enough, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
Moonstruck, another one of our competitors. We've seen a couple of doubles already. We almost saw a triple. Moonstruck with a double. And there's the bait they're working with, and it's not all natural. There's a little love on the end of that.
I'll tell you, these chugger heads have a swivel coming through the top of it attached to the fish, and all you need to do is put that circle hook through that swivel and you're set. So you could pre-rig everything. It's like a turnkey operation. It's like wearing Garanimals as a kid. Lays out on your bed and you know exactly what you're wearing for the day. Pants match the shoes, match the shirt. Let's go. You can hear the reels coming in, the teaser reels up on the bridge with the captain. They're coming in with the squid chains, and the guys below.
And that's to clear them out of the way.
Exactly. You can hear those reels squealing. Times have changed. When I first started doing this, we had to hand crank everything in. I remember we had one reel, Robbie, that actually sounded like a duck call, and I thought it was my friend playing a duck call, and it was a marlin pulling on the teaser, and he was ripping on it, and the reel flew off the boat and ripped off the railing. 500-pound blue pulling on the teaser, tangled up in it.
So if you hear a duck call next time, go grab a rod.
Yeah, do something.
Moonstruck, this was yesterday again with those
Wally.
four.
Double header, look at that. Gotta love that. See how they're stretched out there? That's what you talked about. One's going one way, one's going the other way. That's called stretched out. Sometimes you just gotta wait till they come back together, and you kind of quarter on them, and you kind of try to close the gap and the distance between one or the other. And sometimes you get aggressive and go for one. You make that charge, and one guy has to back off the drag.
Look at the mate. Look at the mate working both guys as well.
Yep.
And also the video evidence. Now they're backing up. In a perfect scenario, you're not fighting those waves coming into the faces of them. You're kind of going with them.
And that's a perfect scenario, correct. For the most part, though, I've taken about 100 waves to the face on a particular fish, filled the cockpit up with water, and everything is floating. The bait tanks are hitting in the legs, or glasses are flying out of the boat. You name it. So the best thing is to go down sea if you can. Go forward, then quarter down sea.
I know how you love it. The second you get that catch, they're back out there.
That's my guy right there putting out a bait. No chugger head on that one. And that's called a naked ballyhoo.
Sport Fishing Championship with 7 white marlin, 1 blue marlin for Team Sisu, 1,225 points. That seems to be the difference. Again, the blue marlin gives you 350. You take that back 350, and it is literally one sailfish away from a victory, possibly by Bandolero. But we still have one more day of competition.
That is a tight pack right there.
This looks to be it for the CNSD White Marlin Tournament day number 2. Wide 360. They need to build on that speed from yesterday. We still got one more day, Peter. I expect big things starting in the morning. You can also find us on sportfishingchampionship.com.
The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation is honored to be the official charity of the Sports Fishing Championship. Through this partnership and the support of donors like you, future generations will enjoy and benefit from a naturally balanced ocean ecosystem. Our education programs, both in the classroom and online, bring to life the work needed to make sure we have clean oceans for decades to come. Join us today at www.ghof.org.
Serious. You are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
It's the simple things, like spending a day at the beach, splashing in the water, playing in the sand, and creating sandcastle masterpieces. Rediscover fun and family on the beautiful white sand beaches of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach.
SFC coverage of the CNSD White Marlin Tournament is brought to you by Invincible Boats, Salt Life, and by Sea Home Watches.
Another day of amazing fish catches in the Dominican Republic for the CNSD White Marlin Tournament. CNSD stands for the Club Náutico Santo Domingo, the base of the Toro in Punta Cana in the DR, and it is absolutely magnificent. The sandy beaches, if you want to stay in the pool, you can do that as well. You go to Cana, whatever. We've got marinas for you. We've got beaches. We've got nightlife. We have it all. And we had fish catches early this morning. 8:32, first one was Grace. Then they back it up about an hour later with their second fish. But look at that. In red, a blue marlin. That's max points. That's 350 for the blue.
That's money, baby. That's what we're talking about. Those guys are they're on fire there.
This is this morning. Grace jumping up that leaderboard. Again, today is your day, bro.
Was that high rate of retrieve reel? 6 or 7 to 1.
And we heard from that young man earlier saying he was looking forward to today. They had that one white marlin yesterday.
When you're screaming like that, Robbie, you got to know it's a blue marlin. White marlin, they're kind of complacent, they're kind of chill. It's, oh, there he is, okay, he's eating it up. Blue marlin, everyone's like, whoa!
It's like a guy at a crab table. Like one guy's rolling, but everybody's screaming because everybody knows they could be a winner.
Exactly, that's exactly what's happening. They're backing into it, water's coming in the cockpit, that's okay. Water's going to flow right back out. It's when it gets up to your knees, that's when you got to start making moves. Got to pull forward, open the tuna door, and let the water out.
8th place for Grace. That's with those 2 whites and this blue. It was a legal catch. Give them that 350 points. Again, each white marlin is 125 points.
This is reminiscent of the marlin from Louisiana. Same idea. Came past the boat and made a turn and went back out the other way. But that one was a little bigger.
They must have got on the blue marlin hotline.
That's right.
So they're going to let you go. Just got to get the leader through the rod tip.
Exactly. Water's calm, they got their videos, and they're still fighting it.
The thing is, with this blue marlin, it was relatively quick, but the excitement is palpable. They know they did something special at this point.
Well, we know for sure it was 30 minutes and under.
Right. And yesterday,
okay, look at this boat. Sorry, Robbie. Look at him backing up. Look at that.
You're going the wrong way.
No, man, that's very productive. When you're backing up, things are good.
That means there's a fish on, right? Sustituta released a white marlin at 9:32 this morning. That's the only reason they would back up. They got a bad boy on and they're trying to catch back up to it, right?
Robbie, let me tell you, the bubbles off the bow of a boat when you're backing up is one of my favorite places to fish because the fish are attracted to that foam.
The bubbles.
More often than not, you're going to get a bite in that bubble trail in reverse.
Does it stir them up? I mean, what is it that
they look up? It looks like bait to them. I mean, if you're snorkeling or you dive down deep and you see bubbles on the surface, you don't know what it is. They see it, they got to come up, and they see a bait in the middle of that, they're going to eat it.
4 marlin caught for Sustituta, 500 points. Today they caught 2 white marlin. 2 yesterday. They need to pick up that pace. They can get 4 tomorrow. They might have a chance.
I think they have a total of 6 to 7 whites now and a blue.
You're getting your Sustituta and your bandolera confused? No? All these Spanish names really makes me think back to my high school days. Spanish 1, 2, 3, and 4. Knuckle busting, though, that's a good thing.
Sustituta means substitute.
Yep. Well, and I gave a lot of them a hard time. There you're seeing the stirred up water and another competitor boat just off to the side. Here's the one that kind of made that move today. Sisu. They have 7 total, but at 9:37, they had a white marlin on the line. I got to make sure to put the emphasis on the right syllable. I think it's Sisu, not Sisu.
Sisu. And by the way, you were right. I did get the names mixed up, Robbie.
A lot of Spanish names. It's okay.
Don't tell anybody.
They're giving us the total catches there. The current lead, again, 875 points. The leader with 1225, or that is Sisu. Sisu with 1225.
And again, they're keeping the boat in gear. They don't want to get too crazy with the fish. They don't want to stay too tight, you know. So, but they want to keep the boat in gears. The fish jumps kind of around in a circle, and then they work their way back to it. And it's a smooth, controlled fight, you know, that pump up, powerful slow pumps, and wind down the way down every time. Even if it's one crank.
Sisu with the 7 whites, the 1 blue marlin, working their way up the leaderboard. You see 800. They were almost like in a 3-way tie earlier today. And
tail wrap.
There's the tail wrap, and it's just it happens.
That can happen at the very end.
Do you get that some from the slack of the line? You're doing it, and all of a sudden he may move a little awkward. And
generally, it's a white marlin doing a wicked jump, and it lands on the line, gets around their tail, and they get wild. They do another wicked jump, and that's a full 2 wraps.
There you go, 12:25 ahead of the 875 of Bandolera, and Fresh Air. They're the ones moving up. 875 tied for second, but they're not very far off of that lead here in Dominican Republic.
SFC coverage of the CNSD White Marlin Tournament is brought to you by Invincible Boats, Salt Life, and by Seahome Watches.
A day out on the water could go great. Or it could have a few minor setbacks. Things could get rough. Or you could lose that $900 smartphone. Whatever the problem, Yugo provides unmatched premium protection for any water sports adventure. Yugo. To get yours, visit YugoWear.com or simply scan the QR code on the screen. And remember, just add water.
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about! Sport fishing anglers from around the world competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
So, you want this, but you can't have it without this, or this, or this. Until now, introducing a new way to travel, intranationally. Get all that international charm without ever leaving the country. Right here in St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Get all that culture, all the cuisine from that culture. You're welcome. All the gram-worthy sites from that hashtag culture. Right here at home. St. Augustine, Ponte Vedra. Travel intranationally.
SFC coverage of the CNSD White Marlin Tournament is brought to you by Smith Optics, Hop Water, and by Radisson Blue Resort.
We're near Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic for the second stop of the Sport Fishing Championship. Blue waters, calm, not only seas, but calm skies as well for the CNSD White Marlin Tournament. You see both Cap Cana, Cabeza de Toro, our takeoff points this week for all 3 days. And again, they're building more slips as we speak, I believe, developing them around Cabeza de Toro. Every time you hear that little sounder, it means we had a catch or a catch alert. You'll see that more tomorrow on CBS Sports Network live in the morning. But again, you see a lot of white marlin being caught. There was a blue marlin, a couple of blue marlin caught today, but Sustituta at 12:20, I believe this might have been their second catch of the day.
Está sacando, está volando. You see the calmness? Everybody's chill. It's a white marlin. We know it's a white marlin. It's perfect.
Yeah, we saw that earlier with Sisu or Grace. It was Grace that everybody got all crazy and wild.
That's right. The blue marlin makes people light up.
The fish jumping a little bit like that doesn't bother you at all. It's when they really throw their head up and shake their head that you kind of get a little...
It's when they're going 50 miles an hour, greyhounding and jumping away from you. and your drag's peeling off, you kind of feel like something is going to break or something's going to go wrong, but you just have to have faith. You got to have your drag set properly. When the fish runs in the initial run, you want that drag light. That's the last thing you want to do is lock it down or tighten it up.
Got it. Look at that Evo Shield hat again. A lot of baseball fans in these neck of the woods, whether it be Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, but a ton of fishing fans as well. Looking at the rest of the updates today, working from 2:10 to 3:35. Notice a pattern there. Bandolera, bandolera, bandolera. They really put on a charge later on in the day. Jump up from bottom feeders all the way up to second behind Sisu.
And that's how it goes in this fishery. And then you notice liqueo, which is liquid. And then there's another boat named Liquid. So we've got two types of liquid there, one in Spanish, one in English.
And Fresh Air also making a move. They jumped up into third in championship points for this event. Again, we pay out points for the top 20 places. You need to get in that top 20 to receive points and kind of push yourself ahead towards that sport fishing championship that we'll crown in Puerto Rico in a few months' time. There are your standings unofficially after 2 days of competition. The big move, Sisu stays on top of the big move by Bandolera at the end of the day. Fresh Air, Y360 drops back a bit. But again, any of these guys, especially if they get into the blues, can make a big push.
You know, got 75 marlin caught already.
And we'll start things in the morning very early with digital on sportfishingchampionship.com, and CBS Sports Network will be live at 9 o'clock Eastern. So join us on the web. You can join us on CBS Sports Network. Peter, I'm ready to do this again. I'm ready to see some live fish catches.
Let's do this.
It's the second stop of the Sport Fishing Championship. On behalf of Peter Miller, I'm Robbie Floyd. We'll see you bright and early in the morning.
This has been a presentation of the Sport Fishing Championship.